Hey there, welcome back to Better Days Start Today. I'm Adrienne. Today, we're exploring how to decide what deserves your energy because not everything that demands it deserves it. This show is where we talk about trusting yourself again, creating what's next, and taking small steps that make life feel like yours. So if you've ever felt torn between acting, waiting, or walking away, you're not alone. In this episode, we're going to explore 4 common approaches. Straight up avoidance, the it's not a problem until it's a problem mindset methodology, eating the frog, and failing at first. We'll explore how each one of these shows up in different parts of life. You'll hear how I've used each style myself, what I've learned from them, and how to notice which one you're in. This isn't about fixing your approach, to be clear. These different approaches work at different times, different seasons of life. It's just about becoming aware of what approaches you're using and when and why. And it's really important to choose where your energy goes instead of reacting by habit. And when you do that, when you choose, when you're intentional, life begins to feel lighter, steadier, more aligned. I've noticed that I use different approaches depending on the kind of situation I'm in. So I handle relational things one way, physical things another, and creative or life decisions in their own unique rhythm. Maybe you do too, right? Maybe one of these things applies kind of in the different buckets of your life. Let's start with avoidance. Probably one we all know too well. In my 20s, I used to delay breakups long past the point of knowing that the breakup was the right thing. Just having that conversation felt so uncomfortable. So I told myself things might get better if I just waited. But the truth is that avoiding short-term discomfort only creates long-term pain. So I was staying in relationships that I had already left emotionally. That does not make any sense. But this avoidance was a relational pattern that I had. For me, avoidance shows up where my heart is involved. I think it held a dual purpose for me. It was a way of protecting connection, a way of delaying loss. The thing is, when you know how you feel in a situation and that outcome is inevitable, avoidance probably isn't the best strategy. I don't think avoidance makes you weak. It just shows you where those tender points are. So if you're hesitating, if you're in this pattern of avoidance and you notice that you're avoiding something that you probably should tend to, ask yourself why you're doing it. Are you trying to avoid pain? Why am I avoiding this thing? That awareness will just help you figure out if that is the best choice for you right now. Now, here's a mindset I'm familiar with. It's not a problem until it's a problem. I tend to use this one when it comes to physical ailments. If I have a weird pain, if I got a cough that's lasted a little too long, I typically tell myself it's not a problem until it's a problem. Now, this has helped me from spiraling into worry and anxiety over something that's not really a problem. So it has served a purpose. However, applying this across the board to every ailment has also kept me from paying attention to something that needs to be tended to or needs care until it really is a problem. Using this in the short term, my mindset feels more stable, feels more grounded. I'm not wrapped up in worry and what ifs. It's just, okay, I'm noticing that this thing is there. It's not a problem yet. The thing is, this can creep from managing my mindset about something that's not a huge deal right now to being flat out avoidance. Listening early is important. You don't have to overreact because your knee has a little twinge in it. But if you notice something and you're telling yourself, hey, this isn't a problem until it's a problem. I don't need to deal with it right now. Like, it's kind of avoidance, but I feel like it's a specific kind of avoidance. Discern whether you're putting this thing off because it truly doesn't matter right now, or you're putting something off because you don't want to deal with whatever required change might be necessary. So you wait for that proof that it's urgent, that it has to happen. This again is all about understanding the underlying motivation as to why you're telling yourself it's not a problem until it's a problem, or some version of that. And again, becoming aware of the fact that you're using that response and asking yourself why, that's going to open up choices. Then there's the classic eat the frog, which might look different than you think. We know eat the frog as a productivity technique, and it's all about tackling your most challenging, most important, or dreaded task first thing in the day. And it's all about gaining momentum and a sense of accomplishment by getting that done first. This can be super helpful, and it can help you fight procrastination, help you improve your focus, can help you manage your time. But I have noticed that eat the frog method, which has always been a professional technique that I would use, started to bleed into life, where if there was a problem or even like a life task I didn't want to deal with, that I would take that approach. I'm going to solve this. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to do this first. It does help establish the habit of consistently taking challenges head on and moving through them. And that can be helpful. Of course, it's always good to be proactive and less reactive when you can, because when you're proactive, there is the ability to be intentional. Initially, we may feel like we've got this sense of control and satisfaction as we consistently accomplish the big things, the challenging things, the hard tasks, the hard problems. But this could become very draining if that is our automatic default, whether it is in work or in life. So just something to think about, because I have noticed for myself, it started as a positive, but I realized that it eventually became very draining. So I had to flip it on its head a bit. This for me is more about intention and energy alignment. So I save my freshest energy for creative work that matters. So this might be writing my Substack essay, recording this podcast. So I don't let the demands of others or tasks that may use a lot of energy but are unimportant steal my morning momentum. The thing is, I've learned that action is powerful. We know that, right? It builds confidence, but reaction is draining. We're not always using our best energy on the things that need it if we go into that reactive mode. So we got to be careful when we're just diving straight into that quote unquote hardest thing first. Does that hardest thing or the most time consuming thing, does that truly require your best energy? If so, do it first, of course. But if your energy is best spent elsewhere, you may benefit more from doing the thing that requires your best, freshest energy. I have found that I go into this fixer energy or this eat the frog without being super intentional about the energy consideration when I want to feel like I'm in control. It has been a challenge to put down the things that make me feel in control and be intentional in doing the things that help me feel aligned. Think about it as your frog energy is for what truly matters, not just for what feels uncomfortable to leave undone. Now, this isn't a permission slip for procrastination, but I'm just saying be deliberate in how you order the way that you're going to do things. And finally, my personal favorite, feel it first. And this for me is a life decision pattern. So if it comes to big life choices, I slow down, I journal, I walk, I imagine the outcome, and I pay attention to how my body feels. If it feels open, calm, and grounded, that's my signal. This is a yes. If there's tension or resistance, it's usually not right or not right for me right now. This is not how I always operated with big life decisions. A lot of times it was a fly by the seat of my pants. I'm going to jump right in without really discerning if it was truly what I wanted. So this slowing down, especially for big life decisions, has made a huge difference for me. The thing is, leaning into how you feel, how your body feels before making a decision, it builds self-trust. It helps you sense what's true instead of chasing what looks right or what you think you should do or what you think everyone else is going to think is the right answer. This lets your body be part of the conversation. Clarity typically doesn't happen from thinking harder. First, feel into what feels aligned and then take action. In between the feeling and the feedback from the action, you're going to know what's right. So we all use these different approaches in different areas of our life. What matters is noticing the pattern because, again, awareness gives you choice. So if you typically fall back on one of these, like I would fall into straight up avoidance in relationships in my 20s, once I notice that, I could decide if that approach is serving me, if it makes sense for me, and I can make a different choice, which I have as I've gotten older, specifically in that area. So I just think awareness gives us power. So talking about the different patterns that we may fall into helps us see what we do. This isn't an exercise in beating yourself up for how you approach different things or how you decide what gets your energy. Just ask yourself, is this approach helping or hindering me right now? Is this approach helping or holding me back right now? When you work with your natural rhythm instead of against it, you stop wasting energy on guilt and you create space for what truly matters. You move towards what's aligned for you. If you love to journal like me, consider the question, where in your life are you spending energy out of habit instead of alignment? What might shift if you begin choosing where it goes? Love this prompt. Try it out. Let me know how it goes for you. I also have a prompt that you can use with AI, whether it's ChatGPT or your favorite AI tool, that will help you explore what parts of your life deserve more attention, which needs less, where your energy is going, that type of thing. The prompt will be in the show notes, which is just the episode description. So be sure to take a look for that as well. These questions aren't about judging where your energy's gone. These questions are about understanding who you're becoming and how you spend your energy. If this episode resonated with you, take a moment to journal with the prompts. And remember, better days aren't found, they're made. One small intentional step at a time. Thanks so much for spending time with me on Better Days Start Today. If you loved this episode, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the podcast, and leave a review. It helps more people find this space and start creating their better days too. And hey, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at adriancrowley.com. You'll get exclusive tips, tools, and access to complimentary events designed to support you every step of the way. Until next time, remember, your better days, they start today.